I'm not defensive about it. Come on! Yes, people, what's happening? Welcome back to the channel. Welcome back to another live stream. And of course, welcome to all your latest Chelsea news and the home of the world champions. Big up to everyone that's already locked in. Make sure you're smashing out the like, subscribe if you're new around here. All of that good stuff. Get involved in the chat. And as always, there is plenty to dive into after scraping into the fourth round of the Carabao Cup last night. There's loads to discuss in regards to that game, the fallout. Obviously, we've got news, apparently a potential setback for Liam Delap, and he's targeting a return in the new year rather than November, according to some reports. We're going to dive into all that. Chelsea have set money aside for January in case areas of the squad need strengthening. Don't worry, guys. The plan is in action. We've set money aside for January. Everything's going to be absolutely fine. Don't you worry, people. We have got the latest on the Cole Palmer injury situation. There's no real news yet, apparently, and sending him for surgery is a last resort, with Chelsea hoping to be able to manage the ongoing issue without having to do surgery. They're also pleased with the progress being made by Mike Penders at Strasbourg, and Strasbourg centre-back Ismail Doucouré could join Chelsea next summer. So everything is looking wonderful in the land of Chelsea, guys. Don't you worry, people. Do not worry. Everything is in hand. We have got it all locked up. But before I say hello to some of you lot in the chat, just a quick reminder, as always, make sure you check out Jerseys FC Soccer Shop. Link is in the description. Use code BLUEBROTHER for 20% off your order. Great quality, affordable prices, names, numbers, patches, whatever you want on the back. Make sure you're looking fresh for this season. Check it out. Link in the description. Jerseys FC Soccer Shop. Use code BLUEBROTHER for 20% off. Anyway, let's say hello to some of you lot, and then we'll dive into proceedings. Right, let's start. Let's get at the top. No way Delap injury setback. Well, let's get into it. Money aside for panic by January. Yeah, I hear it. Yes, big up, big up. Money set aside for January to buy some more kits. It's not going to help us. Yeah, I hear it. I hear it. Again, I would not believe anything that Indy Carla say. The worst thing that could have possibly happened was Ornstein giving them the shout out, because now, yeah, they are a bit of a shambles. They're a bit of a shambles. Sure, now January and then the next season and so on. Why don't you just accept the fact that this model is not working? We're not bright, and a big club needs to win and have players who are ready now. I don't disagree. I don't disagree. Yeah, there seems to be. Well, yeah, you know, there always seems to be a bit of that. I wouldn't say crisis. I think crisis is too strong a word in my view. I absolutely don't think we're in crisis. No. But look, there's a few concerning issues, no doubt about it. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, I mean, if only it was not September 24th and instead it was December 24th and January was in like 6 or 7 days, then yeah, you know, that would be okay. But hearing you've set aside money for January in the last week or so of September, it's not helpful. That really isn't helpful. In case. Yeah, bro, just in case, you know, just in case we haven't realised by then that we do need a new goalkeeper and we lack quality at centre-back. Just in case we hadn't realised those two things by then we have got the money set aside to deal with it if necessary. The Delap news isn't true, I'm pretty sure. We're going to dive into this. Bro, we're not getting a superstar to come in January. Well, no, look, I mean, I wouldn't agree with that. I wouldn't agree with that. Look, we beat Fulham. You know, so look, it wasn't. Look, I don't think the results have got anything to do with Garnacho's arrival at the club. You know, we just haven't played well. I mean, if Garnacho was playing in goal, then yeah, sure. You know, you could absolutely make that point and you could state your case. No doubt about it. No doubt about it whatsoever. You could state your case on that one. I agree. It shows we had more funds to make the squad better, but actively chose not to. Yeah, but bro, we already know that we actively chose not to because we refused to pay the money for Maignan and we refused to sign the manager a centre-back when he asked for one publicly on more than one occasion. I'd love to know what he told the players at half-time. Yeah, look, I think, you know, we can probably guess what was said. The performance in that first half was abysmal, as bad as anything I've seen from Chelsea in a long, long time. Yeah, Darb, I agree, brother. Jorgensen was awful. Absolutely horrendous. There's no denying that. There's no escaping that. That brother was shocking. Absolutely shocking. We have to be so real here. Yeah, I don't disagree with that. I don't disagree. The performance against Palace wasn't very good. West Ham, yeah, we blew them away, but they didn't really provide any sort of stiff test whatsoever. Fulham at home, we did get by them in the end, but that was a struggle. Wasn't a very good performance. Brentford wasn't a great performance. Neither was Bayern Munich. And Man United was atrocious, and the Lincoln game was awful as well. So look, I hear it. You know, we haven't played particularly well. We obviously haven't hit our stride yet in terms of where we're looking to get to this season. We're not even competing in the last 4 games. Seems the players don't care, can't defend to save our lives. I don't think they don't care, but there's just a lack of quality, a real lack of quality. We've got players, we've got quantity, but there's a severe lack of quality in this team. A severe lack of quality, which is a major concern. Yeah, League Cup draw for the 4th round is 10 p.m. tonight. So that will take place after tonight's fixture. So, yeah, we're looking at a 10 p.m. tonight for the League Cup 4th round draw. Yeah, Jorgensen was awful. Absolutely awful. But anyway, let's get into it, guys. Let's start with this Liam Delap news then. Some people saying it's not true. But let me bring it up. Liam Delap is targeting the new year for his return from injury. Now, that is different from what was originally reported at the time, was that he would be targeting a return in November to training and then would hopefully return to training soon after. Well, it doesn't look like that is going to be happening, does it? According to this anyway. Now, whether this is true or not, I don't know. We've heard very little on the Delap situation since that 10-week prognosis that came back, must have been a month ago now, really. We've heard very little on it, and this is the first update now, and reportedly Liam Delap's targeting the new year for his return from injury. And this November return that was initially earmarked is a return to training, by the way. So that's 10 weeks out before returning to training. You would imagine after 10 weeks out, you're looking at another 2-3 weeks back in training to get yourself back up to speed and featuring again in games. So this is not a 10-week absence and straight back. This is 10 weeks and then back in training from what I can understand. And now, supposedly, targeting the new year for his return from injury. That's a disaster for us. That is an absolute disaster for us. It really is. It's awful news. Awful news for us because we've got João Pedro, who's going to almost have to play every game. And then he's got Mark Guilou and Tyreek George. Now, we know that he clearly likes Tyreek George up front. Guilou, we're going to get onto him later. That is an interesting thought there. And that's an interesting thought about what might potentially happen with him. I think we could be in trouble, guys. I can't lie. Someone said it in the chat. Amiga has to come in January. Yeah, look, if this is true and Delap's targeting a return in the new year, you know, whatever option you've got on Amiga, if it's possible to bring him in January, then you've got to go and bring him in January. It really is as simple as that. You must go and get him in January. You must. You absolutely must. But yeah, I think this is a major problem. And this is exactly what I was saying. This is exactly what I was saying in the summer. We needed 3 strikers. No one was listening to me. No one was listening to me. Everyone was saying, oh, you know, you have 2 and then someone else plays up there and it's all fine and it doesn't matter. The fact that one injury has exposed us at striker is awful. Awful business, awful squad planning. You know, so, you know, but we didn't need another striker. We didn't need a striker, guys. Don't worry, Mark Guillou's coming back. We didn't need another striker. Guillou's coming back, and everything's going to be fine. We've got Tyreek George, who we didn't want. I mean, we're going to sell him, but we got him as well that we can use. You know, and that's fine, and everything's going to be okay, and that's going to really serve us well. That's going to really serve us well. Bro, Pedro is not an out-and-out 9. Delap is injured and is unlikely to return before the end of the year. And Mark Guilou is not fancied by the club whatsoever, by Maresca at all. And if he plays any minutes for Chelsea, he cannot be loaned out again and play for another club, because you cannot play for more than 2 clubs in the same season. And I suspect that Chelsea may not want to play Mark Guilou, because when Delap returns in January, or if they bring Amiga in January, there's going to be no minutes whatsoever for him, and they'll look to send him on loan in January. If he plays a single minute, then Guilou could have played. Well, yeah, Maresca saying that he felt something in the pre-game preparation, so that must have been the day before. So yeah, it's not looking good. By the way, guys, we're 72 in the building. Keep smashing the likes. We're on 37 likes. Let's get this up past 50 as quickly as possible. Make sure you are smashing those likes up. Smashing those likes up, guys, really helps me out. And keep subscribing if you're new as well. But run the likes up, guys. We need more than just Amiga in January. We need to send... Yeah, look, we might well have to. We may well have to. I don't know if it's a knock or what it is. Maresca just said they didn't want to take the risk with him, and so they used Tyreek George instead. That's what's been said in regards to that. So we'll have to wait and see. We have 3 strikers, end of story. Well, bro, look, if you want to include Mark Guilou as a striker, technically he is one, but let's be really honest here. We didn't recruit enough in the summer in the striker position. We simply didn't. It was so obvious. Everyone could see it coming that we were 1 injury away from having no depth at centre forward. 1 depth at playing centre forward. Diego Lopez looked far last night and he's at our feeder club. Yeah. I was joking about this on the train with some of the boys on the way home this morning. That I'll keep an eye on Gomez, because you know he'll probably join Chelsea for 60 million in a couple of summers' time. There's a reason why Guilou went on loan to Sunderland. Yeah, bro, I've been saying this for time. Let's not pretend that Mark Guillou's the answer to our problems, because he absolutely isn't. He absolutely is not the answer to any problems at Chelsea. Is he better than Liam? Is he better than Tyreek George at centre forward? Yes, absolutely, purely on the basis that he is a centre forward. But as I was saying, you know, he's not fancied by the manager. It's so obvious that he's not rated by the manager. He's not rated by the manager. Yeah, look, we've got squad. We have got imbalances in the squad. There's no doubt about it. I hope not. I mean, that would really be a big nail in the coffin for us if that was to happen. That would be a real blow if that were to be the situation for us. That would yeah, it wouldn't be good, chap. It would not be good. No, not every news. No, not every news. Absolutely not, because some things are absolute nonsense. I will report on the stuff from reliable sources, and then generally we might briefly touch on some other things that have come from less well-known places. But yeah, no, generally speaking, the stuff that comes from reliable people. Yeah, but ultimately Jackson didn't want to stay, so and for whatever reason there's nothing we can do about that now. But Jackson did not want to stay. That's the main problem here. That is the main problem here. Yeah, look, he does need to use Guilou. He does. I fully understand that. Yeah, of course he is, because Mark Guilou's a centre forward and Tyreek George isn't. So it's simple as that. No, look, winning the Club World Cup was fantastic, but it's a setback in terms of our preparations for the season, our fitness levels, and whatnot. That's where it's going to cost us. Yeah, no, of course he was, but I don't think it was difficult to work out that a manager was not happy with the players that were signed in the summer. That really isn't, hard to see. He wanted a goalkeeper. He wanted a centre back. He didn't get either of those. I'm not sure how much he wanted a Jamie Gittins or a Garnacho or these kinds of players. Yeah, I mean, two shocking goalkeepers. Fair play to everyone involved in that. Fair play to them. To get yourselves two shocking goalkeepers is well, it's quite something, isn't it? It is quite something to get yourself two shocking goalkeepers. Bro, Buonanotte can't play against Brighton at the weekend because he's on loan. So there'll be no Buonanotte on Saturday. There'll be no Buonanotte on Saturday. No, I don't think so. I don't think we're in that sort of situation. In fact, to give this ownership some praise, they're not the type to pull the trigger on managers early doors. They're really not. They will give a manager they really will give the manager time. So look, if we were to lose against Brighton and lose against Liverpool, yes, the pressure would obviously ramp up big time. But I don't think we'd be looking at a situation where, oh my God, the manager's job is in danger. I don't see something like that happening at all. It's too early. We're 5 games in. I think it's too early still to be making conclusions on whether we're in a top 4 race. That is correct. He's on loan from Brighton. Yes. It's part of that imbalance down to Maresca playing the lads out of position. Are you better with one less player in a natural role than multiples in a given match out of theirs? I think we're imbalanced at times because, yes, partly because some players are playing out of position, but also maybe because the system doesn't suit as many players as we excuse me, as we perhaps think. Yeah, bro, it's like, you've got one really good, you've got a couple of great ingredients: Reece James, Cucurella, Cole Palmer, Caicedo, Joao Pedro. You've got like sort of 4 or 5 really good ingredients, and then you're having to cobble together the rest of the ingredients. And you're like, you want a real nice biscuit base for the cheesecake, but you're going to have to use like some own brand biscuits for it. And it can do the job sometimes, but it's just not the same. Yeah, run the likes up, chat. Run the likes up. I mean, feel free to send super chats in if you wish to do so, guys. Please do feel free to do that. But what I would say is, right, when we say he, I think it's important not to say that the manager is making these decisions. I don't think the manager decided to get rid of Petrovic, decided to get rid of Vega. Vega made it very clear that he didn't want to be at the football club. Petrovic was always going to be sold. We know full well that Maresca does not rate Robert Sanchez. He doesn't. You can listen to whatever he says. You know, he does not rate Robert Sanchez. You know, deep down, we know that's the situation. Deep down, we know it's a situation. Yes, big up, brother, on the old Chelsea Central. Big up, bro. Chelsea Central's the old playback channel, isn't it? That's the old playback. Big up, bro. Hope you're good. Hope you're good. I did WhatsApp you earlier, brother. So yeah, mate, just get back to me when you can. Let me know. What else have we got going on here? Yes, all good, mate. All good, all good. Sanchez, Jorgensen, and Ben Roberts all need to be given the boot. Yeah, bro, that would be nice, but unfortunately, that is not going to happen, guys. That is not going to happen. But look, this striker situation, whether it's true or not, you know, I mean, I did see Pice. There'd been a mistake in the copy or something. Let's, you know, even if there has been, I mean, how do you make that big a mistake? I don't know. But I'm not saying that, you know, there's definitely been a setback. But I wouldn't be surprised if Liam Delap is going to return later than perhaps may have been initially reported. You know, that wouldn't surprise me at all. We're 10 weeks till he's back in training. Then you're looking at probably another 3 or 4 weeks to get back up to match fitness, match sharpness. That's not looking good. That's looking peak, by the way, people. And we've got to make do with a situation of Mark Guilou, João Pedro, and Tyreek George. We've got to pray that João Pedro stays fit. If we do play Mark Guilou, he cannot go on loan anywhere else for the rest of the season. And if you do bring Amiga back in January, if Delap does come back, or when Delap does come back, there's going to be no minutes for Guilou anyway. So it's all a little bit of a strange one. So look, Delap, possible setback, we don't know, but I think we can really forget. No, Delap's not surgery. No, because when Ornstein reported the news, it was, you know, Liam Delap has avoided surgery. Surgery has been avoided for Liam Delap. So yeah, we'll just wait and see. We'll just wait and see what happens on that one. So yeah, a potential setback for Liam Delap might not return until the new year now. One injury derailing us is you know, one injury derailing us, which is poor. Pedro as the 10, Guilou as the 9, Neto right, Garnacho left if Palmer's injured. Yeah, let me just quickly let's quickly get onto the Cole Palmer situation as well, because there's a brief update from Kieran Gill. There's no news on Palmer. Sending him for surgery on his groin injury is seen as the last resort, with the Blues hoping they can manage his ongoing issue without the need to go undergo surgery. Now, if there was like 5 or 6 games left for the remainder of the season and we had lots to play for, you'd say, yeah, fine, let's manage it, let's get by. We're almost at the end of the season. We are right at the start of the season. We've already seen that he's missed 2 games. He couldn't get through the United game. And now we're looking at trying to manage this situation sort of day by day, game by game. You know, he might last 90 minutes in a game, or he could be off after 10. This is not a sustainable way of operating with your star asset. This is not a sustainable way of operating with your star asset. I get it. Surgery is a last resort. You don't want to be, you don't want to have someone out. You don't have your best player facing a spell 4, 5, 6 weeks on the sidelines, whatever it might be. I fully understand you don't want that. However, every injection you play with, you are just doing really more long-term damage. We saw it with Enzo Fernandez in the Mauricio Pochettino season. He eventually underwent surgery. You could see he wasn't playing freely. Palmer might get through some games and play really well and score goals and score assists. But there's also the chance that it will last 5-10 minutes in some games and have to come off. It's just not worth the risk. And, you cannot manage 40, 50, 60 games of a season like this with your best player. You can't do that. You can't do that. Now, you're absolutely right. Absolutely right. They can't manage 50 games like this. Not worth risking his long-term health. Better to fix, rest, recover, and be fully fit. Yeah, exactly. This is what I was saying on the show yesterday, particularly now as well, where you've got 2 international breaks, one in October, one in November. Like 3-4 weeks of the recovery time is going to be an international break. 3 or 4 weeks international break recovery time. Surely now is the perfect time to do it. Or you've got a big week. Let's get him through Brighton, Benfica, and Liverpool. And then after that Liverpool game, you go for the surgery, and then you're out for a few weeks, and you use 2 international breaks as best part of half of your recovery. That's what makes sense in my opinion. That's what we should be doing. But I just don't see that happening. I don't see that happening. Yeah, bro, I hear you. I absolutely agree. Garnacho left if Palmer injured. Someone said, did fans not see he couldn't do F all against Lincoln last night? Look, I'll reserve judgment on Garnacho. He's played 2 games for us, 3 games for us. I know Maresca may not fancy some of his squad players, but surely shouldn't he be playing them to show the SDs and fans that he's right about them being shit? Well, it's not even right about them being shit, Whether you like the squad or not, you've got to make use of the options that have been given to you. You are going to need to go and use these players, whether you want to use these players or not. That's the unfortunate reality of the situation. Guys, we're 125 in the building. Make sure you are smashing the like button. We're only on 54 likes. What is that about? What is that about, guys? 54 likes. Let's get this up to 70, 80 likes, people. It should be light work, guys. So run it up, run it up. We should be on 100 likes, and keep subscribing as well if you're new around here. Come on, big up to the community, by the way. But we've got to be doing better than that on the likes. Palmer needs to go ahead and get the surgery. I agree. Where's the Cole Palmer cover? Well, it's Facundo Buonanotte. Maybe it's João Pedro if Maresca ever decides to use Mark Guilou. Otherwise, maybe you play Esteban in a 10. But yeah, look, there's not a lot of Cole Palmer cover. There isn't. I would personally do it after. If you can get him through the next 3 games, Brighton, Benfica, and Liverpool, I would send him for the surgery in the October international break, straight after that Liverpool game. Yeah, it would have been a good idea, but yeah, we didn't do it. I don't know. We don't know that. That's the thing. We don't know that. We'll find out on Friday when there's the press conference. We will find out on Friday whether Cole Palmer is going to be fit. We'll find out. But I wouldn't be surprised if he was. But I just don't want it. I just don't want to start him and then he has to come off after like 15, 20 minutes again. It's just stupid and makes a mockery of the whole situation. It is just stupid, chat. We have to be straight up about that. Yeah, exactly. No, I'm not saying we're not going to win anything. It's way too early to say we're not going to win anything. But yeah, look, there are concerning signs. But bro, let's just say that was their plan. That's just ridiculous, isn't it? That's just absolutely ridiculous as a plan. You know, look how many games there are until January that you don't know whether Palmer can get through a decent chunk of minutes or not. It's just stupid. It really is. It's just stupid. I've got to be honest. That is just nonsense for me. Absolute nonsense. I don't agree with that at all. Do not agree with that at all. Nonsense. Amiga Mojica is not going to get that many minutes in the first team. Look, obviously he's not. I don't think he's as good as Nicholas Jackson right now. I think that's quite clear. I don't know what the plan is with him, but for me, we need to be bringing him in January. We need to be bringing him in January. It's as simple as that. It's going to be very interesting to see what we do with Mark Guilou, because when Delap comes back, there's even less minutes for Guilou, and then if they decide to bring Amiga in, then there's even less minutes there as well. But if he plays a single minute for Chelsea, though, then he's fucked, because he then can't go on loan anywhere else, and we're going to be looking at a season where Mark Guilou is hardly going to kick a ball for us. Let me just quickly bring this up in the WhatsApp. Let me just quickly bring this up. Where is it? On Guilou. Yeah. If he plays a single minute, this is it, chat. So if he plays a single minute for Chelsea this season, he won't be able to go out on loan in January, as you cannot play for 3 clubs in the same campaign under FA rules. And it is unlikely that Guilou will waste away on the bench to preserve him for a future loan, with Maresca promising the striker that he will get his chances to impress under him. As much as I think it would be beneficial for Guilou to go on loan, and it would make more sense, we're not. I don't think we're in a position with Delap's fitness to not use Guilou at all between now and January. We can't do that, chap. We simply cannot do that. We cannot use Guilou between now and January. Now, brother, respectfully, he absolutely isn't. He absolutely is not. No, I don't. I don't think we will. Again, it depends on what opportunities are available. But again, I don't see us getting a centre back. I don't see a centre back arriving at the football club in January. I just don't. And is that a surprise? No, it's not a surprise. It is not a surprise whatsoever. Yeah, it's mad, isn't it? Bro, to be honest, mate, I wouldn't even bother thinking about Colwell this season. I wouldn't bother thinking about him this season. There's literally no point thinking about Levi Colwell this season. Yeah, that wouldn't be good. Look, I think we've definitely got obviously got the capabilities to beat Benfica. Of course we do, but yeah, that would be bad. Look, Colwell could return before the end of the season, but don't bother thinking about Colwell until March, April at the earliest. Don't bother thinking about him until then. Yeah, look, it's 5 games in. It's 5 games in. You know, look, it hasn't been the best of starts, but yeah, we do need to relax a little bit. It's 5 games in, so I don't think we should be... Bro, Vega's been sold. Vega's been sold, so he's not going to be reintegrated anywhere because he's playing for Villarreal. So there's no reintegration for Renato Vega. So yeah, the Benfica game's massive as well. Huge game. We've got, again, another 3 huge games coming up for the football club. 3 massive games. Really, really big games that we've got to get on top of. Yeah, look, the form's a concern right now. Absolutely, the form is a concern right now. Yeah, it's a big concern. Are players falling like flies? I wouldn't say they were falling like flies at Chelsea, but yeah, we have got we have got issues. Of course we have. Of course we have. The next 2 Premier League games, we need 4 points minimum. No, Vega was permanent. Done. Again, it just depends. But the aim has got to be 4 points. It has to be 4 points minimum from the games against Brighton and Liverpool. Brighton and Liverpool, we've got to be 4 points. But anyway, that is the latest on the Cole Palmer situation. We'll find out on Friday whether he's fit or not to face Brighton on the weekend. He scored 4 goals in that fixture last season. It would be great if that could happen again. It would be fantastic, but we don't even know if he's going to be fit or not. So we'll have to wait and see. We'll have to wait and see. Right. Let me get into the next stuff because, guys, whatever's going wrong right now, don't you worry, people, because Chelsea have left cash in reserve for January window should they decide an area needs strengthening. And it would not be a surprise for the same names to crop up again. Instead of leaving that cash for January, why didn't we just spend that cash in the summer on getting players that we needed in key positions? But don't worry, guys, this is all part of the plan. We've got a nice chunk of cash in reserve to go and sort things out that don't need sorting out in January, because we never really sort out what we need to sort out. We'll go and address areas that don't actually need addressing. But it's all good. It's all good, guys, because cash has been left in reserve. We're at the end of September. January is over 3 months away still. We're already getting the reports, the briefs that there's money set aside for 3 months' time. But don't worry about the 3 months between now and January. We'll work out how to get by then, but there's money to spend if we need to. I just still cannot get my head around the fact that we did not sign a goalkeeper or a centre-back in the summer. I just can't get my head around it. I really can't. It's just so poor, so inexcusable not to have done that. Really, really bad, guys. Just unacceptable. Another attacker in January. Well, look, another attacker in January. They may try and look to bring Emmanuel Amiga in. Bring that deal forward from the summer. That's negotiating with ourselves. Maybe we send Mark Guilou to Strasbourg if he doesn't play for us at all. So yeah, we've got to see, chat. We've got to see what the plans are. But we should have signed a centre back and we should have signed a goalkeeper, but we didn't. And now, 5 games into the season, we are paying the price big time for not signing a goalkeeper and not signing a Levi Cole replacement. Who could have seen that happening? Who could have seen that we would have paid the price for no top-class goalkeeper and no top-class centre-backs? The worrying thing is that this maybe came as a surprise to those in charge. The worrying thing is that this maybe came as a surprise to those in charge. That is mental. Absolutely mental. Yeah, not good, chat. Not good whatsoever. Not good whatsoever for us to be in that situation. Not good. Edison, Donnarumma, Martinez were all available in the summer, and we start. Yeah, look, there were loads. There were loads. Do you think we get Sarr back from Strasbourg? It's a possibility. It's a possibility. All I would say is, though, I don't really know how much that would actually help our defensive issues right now. I don't think it would. Yeah, I also agree on that. With these sporting directors, it's like having one hand tied behind our backs, so short-sighted. Well, I wouldn't even say they were short-sighted. They're more long-sighted, aren't they? And in fact, there's always looking to the future rather than addressing the right now. And lack of addressing the right now is what's costing us. Guys, we're 25 likes away from 100. Please keep smashing the like button. We're 130 in the building. So let's run this up. Run up these likes, guys. Run up these likes. Run them up. As quickly as possible, guys. Let's get this up to 100 likes, people. Really helps me out. Really helps me out more than you can imagine. So make sure you're smashing that like button. And make sure you subscribe if you're new around here as well. Yeah. Look, I think there's a problem. Like the way that we're recruiting is capping what we're capable of achieving. Look, of course we could potentially still go. We could potentially still go for those players, but I just don't look at that as particularly likely. No, I'm not waving the white flag on the season. I still think we'll finish top 3, top 4, but I didn't disagree with the fact that we don't have a quality goalkeeper, we don't have quality centre backs, and the signings we made weren't good enough. That's not waving the white flag. That's being realistic and accepting the reality of where we're at. And all those things, in my opinion, are true. Goalkeeper not good enough. Centre-back's not good enough. Only really signed one player who improves the first team squad. The first 11. And that was João Pedro. Look, if you disagree with that, that's fine. But for me, that's factually correct. And that's why I didn't push back on much of it, because I agree with it. We do lack quality in goalkeeper. We do lack quality at centre-back. And we didn't sign good enough players in the summer to improve the team. These are facts. These are facts, guys. These are facts. I feel Club World Cup win is making us forget the weaknesses of this team and expectations. Yeah, look, the Club World Cup has been great. Fantastic. Delighted we won it. But yeah, maybe it's papered over a few cracks in people's minds. And obviously, it's had a knock-on effect in preparations for this season. And, you know, we might suffer this season as a result of our excursions at the Club World Cup. But if you offered it me again, would you rather not win the Club World Cup and be fresh for the season, or win the Club World Cup and just get your way through the season? I'm taking the trophy every day of the week. Every day of the week. No, that's fine for the backup left-back role. But I mean, in general, the signings we made weren't good enough to improve the team to the level that it needs to be improved. Yeah, but bro, that's our fault. That's self-inflicted. You know Fofana struggles with his fitness, and you knew Levi Colwill was out. We took an active decision not to go and sign another centre-back. So we can't use the excuse, oh, we're playing our third and fourth choice partnership, which would have been a valid excuse if these injuries had happened after the transfer window had closed. The fact is, from Colwell's injury, we had 1 month left of the window to do something about it. We actively chose to do nothing about it, get no new centre-back, despite the manager asking for one. And Now we are playing our third and fourth choice defensive set options, and we look horrendous at the back. And it's no fault other than our own, because we refuse to address the situation in the summer. No, I don't think so. I think it's probably true that I'm sure Chelsea probably do admire Iraola. I'm sure there is absolutely a degree of truth in that. I'm sure. I'm sure there is. I'm sure there absolutely is. Bro, we were never getting Bastoni. Yeah, but bro, this is the problem. It's always next summer. It's always next season. What about now? What about the here and now? What are we doing to improve the team right now? And in my view, we're not doing enough. We are not doing enough, in my view, in terms of improving the team right now. Not enough is being done. Not enough is being done. Yeah, we were lucky yesterday. Absolutely. But bro, let's stop using this UEFA rules, because if we knew about the UEFA rules and we found out about that in June or July, we still chose to prioritise other positions over a goalkeeper and a centre-back. So I'm not having the UEFA restrictions as an excuse, because we still signed players and we still added players. We added players to the squad still, despite those restrictions. We actively chose not to address centre-back and not to address goalkeeper. That's what we actively chose to do. We still signed players despite the restrictions. We knew about the restrictions in June or July time. And we signed players, but we didn't sign them in the positions that we needed. Look, I don't think we're anywhere near the situation of parting ways with managers and whatnot and all that stuff. I don't think we're in problems in regard to that whatsoever. I don't think we're in any problems in regards to that. It was poor. It was poor. We just got to say it how it is. The recruitment in the summer was poor. I don't think he looks out of his depth. No, I think he proved last season with a top 4 finish and return to Champions League football. So top 4 finish and 2 trophies showed that he wasn't out of his depth. He's not out of his depth. He's managed 1 game in the Champions League. So I don't think after 1 game we can come to a conclusion about whether a manager is out of depth in the Champions League. Bro, I think, to be honest, the Guilou boat is gone. He will probably just end up completing that move to Liverpool in January, or signing a pre-agreement with Liverpool, in January. That's what I think will happen then. Guys, we're 12 likes from 100. Keep smashing the like button. It's free. Takes seconds. Run it up. We're 12 away, chat. And keep smashing the subscribe button as well. We're inching ever closer towards 18.5K. 18.5K. We're getting closer. Okay, chat. So please subscribe. Please smash up the likes. We're 4 away from 18,450. Run it up, chat. Subscribe. All that good stuff. No, they made some business changes. They made some business changes. So yeah, let's hope that gets dealt with. Let's hope that it gets dealt with. Yeah, and I think there's absolutely a degree of truth in that. Bro, I don't care whether they planned for the Colwell injury or not. They had a month afterwards to deal with it, and they opted not to deal with it. So I don't want to hear any of this. Oh, they didn't plan for it. Achimpong, they can spin out the Achimpong line all they want. Achimpong has not featured since the first game of the season against Crystal Palace, and there's a reason for that. So they can spin whatever lines with that want to be spun, but the reality of the situation is that Achimpong is clearly not really fancied either. He is clearly not really fancied either, and that in itself is also a concern. That in itself is also a concern. The defense is shocking. It is. Yeah, we do need to give. I agree. But again, as I've said many times before, this is the problem with the recruitment, is that all the signings need lots of time. And at Chelsea, we're not in a position to be giving every single signing like loads of time. You know, we need impact pretty quickly. And this is why the team is struggling to progress and struggling to move forward, is because every signing that comes in needs more time. That's the point that I'm trying to make here. You know, we need more of an instant impact. Mate, no one's waving the white flag. Not once have I'm not writing the season off or anything like that. But these first five games have exposed the problems that a lot of us have been speaking about in the summer. Not signing a goalkeeper and not signing a centre back is going to cost us big time. And that has been majorly exposed in the first five games. That's the point that I'm making here. Yeah, someone does need to go. I get that. I get that. And it's not about a lack of quantity. It's not about a lack of quantity. It's the lack of quality. Because really, we have two top quality centre halves at a push. Two top quality centre halves at a push is what we've got. And that is not ideal. Not ideal whatsoever. Two top quality centre halves at a push, guys. Why didn't Petrovic fight for his place? I don't know the answer to that. I don't know if it's as simple as you know, he did. Problems. We lost to United because we got a red card after 5 minutes. Sure, yeah, that didn't help us, but we also And that was a major contributing factor. But the main reason we lost is because our defending was abysmal and embarrassing, and the manager was cowardly in that game. So yes, the red card had a big impact on it, but afterwards we defended like shit, and the manager was cowardly in his decisions. Let's just say it how it is. The manager was cowardly in his decisions, guys. He was cowardly in his decisions. I don't know. I was talking about this with Alex last night. You know, you need a settled centre-back pairing. You need a settled centre-back pairing. He's gone with Fofana and Chalobah the last 2 games, which makes me think that perhaps Fofana and Chalobah is his preferred pairing. But then it wouldn't be surprising at all if one of those 2 is replaced by Tosin this weekend. But you cannot keep chopping and changing the centre-backs from game to game. You need to pick a partnership and stick with it. You know, that's the reality of the situation. You've got to pick a partnership and stick with it, guys. That's what you have to do. Yeah, probably not in the end. But that's such a damning indictment of our recruitment at goalkeeper. Sanchez not good enough. Petrovic not really good enough. Jorgensen not really good enough. That is 3 goalkeepers there that have been signed for what, 50, 60 plus million pounds, and none of them are good enough. None of them are good enough. So what's that about, chat? What on earth is that about? And any ball into the box, any time a ball goes into the box, we look like we're going to concede. We look like we're going to concede. We look absolutely finished. Any time a ball goes into the box, we look done. And that's not a good position to be in, guys. Not a good position to be in at all. Anytime a ball goes into the box, you look finished. You look like you're going to concede. Yes, big up, brother. Big up. What's being said in the chat? I don't even know if it's penny pinching, but it's clear that we're only really going for players, with the odd exception of some, we're really only going for players who have got resale value. And it's clear that there's not really resale value in goalkeepers or centre-backs. That's the reality of the situation. Bro, of course it was cowardly. You went to a back 5 against Man United, the worst Man United team in history and one of the worst sides in the league right now. Instead of going 4-4-1, you went 5 at the back and you took 2 attackers off, leaving yourself with absolutely no out ball. No out ball. We didn't have the ball in the first half because A, we kept giving it away, and B, there was no out ball. He was cowardly. And he deserved to be called out for his shocking management of that game. Because when Palmer went off injured, we had 1 attacker on the pitch. No out ball. Couldn't get up. Bro, there's no way you're defending the manager again for the United game. There's no way. Because he's indefensible for that Man United game. There's just simply, I just refuse to believe that someone's defending Maresca for that United game. I'm just not entertaining it. Would be ideal if every player we sign turned out to be, yeah, well, bro, that's ideal in every scenario. You want every player to work out. It doesn't work. Yeah, it doesn't work out that way. No, of course, there's no guarantee, but you know, you've got to recruit properly, and we simply haven't done enough good recruitment of quality players. We haven't done enough good recruitment of quality players, and that in itself is a problem. That in itself is a problem. Not enough recruitment of quality players. We need to do more recruitment of quality players. Sure, but even if he does, what a complete waste of 6 months with 2 rubbish goalkeepers. It's just a complete waste of 6 months if that's the case. Yeah, look, we're still only 5 games into the season. Realistically, you need to wait for 10, 15 games to see sort of really the table taking shape and what each team is kind of looking at and what each team is working with. That's really what we're dealing with here. I mean, ideal signing for me, we would have signed Mike Maignan in the summer, and we would have signed Mark Gurhey. But those would have been the 2 signings that I would have made in the summer, and we would be doing a damn sight better if we had both of those in the team now. We simply would be. We'd be doing a damn sight better with those players in the team right now. But we don't have those players in the team right now. We've got to make do with what we've got, and we need to find solutions. We need to find solutions, and we need to play better. That's what we need to do. It's going to be very interesting. No, he was a coward because he took off 2 players and went to a back 5 instead of just playing 4-4-1. Mate, you have 5 subs. Forget 2 subs being forced. You had 5 subs. Taking 2 attackers off after 4 minutes is cowardly, and accepting that you are not going to get anything out of this game against the worst Man United side in history. I don't know how you're sticking up for the manager in that game. No, I don't shamelessly claim the Conference League. We won the Conference League. I was pleased about it. I don't mention it because, we don't need to flex a Conference League other than the fact that we've completed the set. Yeah, look, he's struggled a bit at the start of this season. No doubt about it. Yeah, I agree. I don't disagree with that either. I do not disagree with that one bit. That is that is absolutely correct as well. Absolutely correct. Yeah, we'll see. We'll find out 10 p.m. tonight. Chelsea are ball number 8 in the 4th round of the Carabao Cup. Look, I'll be pleased about it, but it's 6 months too late or 12 months too late. They end up coming next season. Yeah, Gurhey's not going to happen. I've already accepted the Gurhey situation is gone. I've accepted the Gurhey situation is gone, and so there we are. Yeah, bro, we could have got something out of that game. We could have got something out of that game. We could have easily got a draw. United didn't even play well, and if we'd just gone 4-4-1. We had no outball, no attackers on the pitch. We could have got something from that game. If we hadn't been so negative with the substitutions. That's my opinion. If others think it was okay what he did, then fine. But I don't get that trail of thought whatsoever. Don't get that trail of thought at all. But let's check what else is happening. Oh yeah, how could I forget? How could I forget this? According to reports in France, Strasbourg centre-back Ismail Doucouré could join Chelsea next summer. What great. I mean, fantastic, right, guys? Yeah, absolutely we should. Absolutely. And not on a pre-contract agreement. Go and sign him right now and bring him in January if you can. This sort of setup with signing players from Strasbourg is a bit weird. I can't lie. It's clear that we're just securing the best talents from Strasbourg to have control over them. That's the reality of the situation. We're securing these talents to have control over them, not necessarily with the intention to use them. We just want control over the talents. That's what I think is quite evident here. Control over the talents. And it's just a bit of a strange one. Just a bit of a strange one. Yeah, it is a strange one. Absolutely nothing. I mean, I'd love to be paid by Chelsea, but no, I paid absolutely nothing. Yeah, we do, and yeah, we're not going to get them. So that's where we are. That's where we are. We're not going to get them. Yeah, look, this could well happen in the summer. This could well happen in the summer, and they probably be loaned back to Strasbourg. How old is this guy? He won't be old. He won't be old. That's for sure. He will not be old. Let me have a look. Ismail Decore, French footballer, Strasbourg. Yep. He's a centre back, 22 years of age. Well, he's a bit older than what we normally. He's a bit older. Yeah, I mean, we were linked with him. Were we linked with him in the summer loosely? I forget. Were we linked with him in the summer loosely? I can't remember, chat. I can't remember. Hamstring injury suffered against Fulham. And some reports are saying that he might not return until the new year. Originally, it's been said he was going to return to training in November, but it could take him another month to get up to speed. Could take another month to get up to speed. But I don't even think we'd use Sarr much either. I don't think we'd use Sarr much either. So it's a bit of a pointless exercise, that sort of situation. But look, who have we signed from Strasbourg? Mamadou Sarr, Amiga, and then potentially this Ismail Decore. So really, it's only been two. It's been two, but it's clear that they're going to be signing Strasbourg's best players for Chelsea with a view to them, playing for the club. How many of them are actually signed for Chelsea are going to be decent? I've got no idea. I've got no idea. Absolutely no idea. Not very confident going deeper into the season. We haven't got many game-changing options on the bench. Yeah, look, I do hear that. I do hear that. Look, I'm not thinking about new managers. I'm not thinking about new managers right now. Absolutely not. Absolutely not, chat. Yes, big up, brother. Big up, big up. No, I've said many times. I've literally, I don't know if you've been listening, but I've said many times the recruitment's been awful this summer. Absolutely awful. I wouldn't say we're going backwards. Um, when's that? That was that this weekend. I mean, look. I mean, someone said he was injured. Is that true? Is he injured now? I don't know for certain. Is he injured? I'm not sure. We'll have to take a look at that. We'll have to take a look at that. So yeah, look, Ismail Doucouré could join Chelsea next summer. Exciting. So Anselmino's injured. So I think he's done really well on his Dortmund debut, but now he's injured. So yeah, I mean that's not ideal, chat. That's not ideal. That's not what we. It's not what we want, guys. It's not what we want. It's not what we're looking for. Yeah, we will. It certainly seems that way, doesn't it? Certainly seems that way. But let's wait and see. Ismail Doucouré could arrive next summer, but that's not something to worry about right now. That's not something to be thinking about right now. What players did he take on loan? I mean, look, Buonanotte came on loan. I don't know how much of a thought of a indication or involvement he had in that. The players that have gone out on loan, again, I don't think he has that much of a say on that either, personally speaking. I haven't got a problem with the players that went out on loan. Not at all. So, yeah, certainly interesting times. We've got, massive game against Brighton. Massive game against Brighton coming up on Saturday. Oh, that is a huge game, chat. Huge game. One that we absolutely need to be winning. Oh, 100%. 100% they have. You know, they went up at the start at the back end of last season and through the Club World Cup. And now him being injured, they've gone up even more. No, I don't believe that to be true. No. I mean, it could turn out to be the case, but right now there's no proper update on Cole Palmer. There's no proper update. So we need to wait and see on that. We need to wait and see on that. But look, I'm expecting him. Will he play against Brighton potentially? But yeah, I'm expecting at some point soon for the surgery to happen because it's just going to be the easiest way of dealing with it. It's just going to be the easiest way of dealing with the situation. So there we are. There we are, chat. Guys, smash up the like button. We're 4 likes away from 120. So run it up, run it up. Run it up. Let's get this to 120 likes. Yeah, the groin injury is we can't keep managing it on a game-by-game basis. We absolutely cannot be doing that. Cannot be doing that, chat. No chance at all can we be doing stuff like that. No chance. Yeah, he did beat Brighton on his own last season. Four goals at the Bridge. Right, guys, I am going to round this one out here. Big up to everyone that's locked in this evening. Good numbers. Appreciate each and every single one of you in the chat. Big yourselves up. Guys, please smash that like button on the way out. Get this to 120 likes or more. Subscribe if you're new around here. We greatly appreciate it. We're edging ever closer towards the 20k mark. Every new subscriber helps, so please do subscribe. Bro, groin's not going to get better while still playing. Think about what you're saying. How can an injury get better while you're playing? Come on. But yeah, big yourself up, guys. Smash the likes on the way out. Subscribe if you're new around here. Enjoy the rest of your evening. Let's wait and see who Chelsea get in the Carabao Cup draw for the next round. I'll be back again tomorrow. And until then, up the Chelsea. And we're out. Peace.